Hey, 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 guys. Ignore the background. I haven't changed it yet. Your girl's a little lagging today. All right. The whole cranium needs some adjustments. Yes, Julia T. She says, do we need a stronger beverage for this segment? Absolutely. Absolutely. If that is your cup of tea or cup of whiskey or both. Some people like both. So, what are we talking about today? What does my title mean? Well, there are times when, even for me, even for me, we can go too far with the speculation in the sense of how we express it. But then there's another level of speculation where it becomes dangerous, especially when we don't have all of the facts or we have very little to go on in cases, especially with missing children. We've seen it in the uh, Cash Gurning case. We've seen it in Harmony Montgomery case. We've seen it in a lot of them. All right. We should know by now the difference between healthy speculation versus just downright toxic and pathetic. We know this. So I feel like the creators who have been here for a lot longer than I have, if they're going to continue this kind of behavior, at some point, the only thing left to do is talk about it, go over it. And it's time. It is time. It has been overdue. Now, I did an accountability um, live a few months ago saying, hey, I need to own up to the things that I have um, fallen short on. So why can't anyone else do the same? And not only that, why are they taking it even a step further while being dangerous to people around the case that may or may not be complicit? Right? There we go. Much better and more appropriate for this live. Let me check in with chat and then we'll get right into it. All right, Shannon, thank you everybody that jumped from the last live to this live. I appreciate it. And sorry that I had to do that to you guys. Sandy Gant just went straight to the Final Jeopardy, follow the money. Whew. Following the money I have. Definitely. Julia T, false narratives abound on the streets. Absolutely. And you would know just as well as I. Shannon got her second cup of coffee. I did as well. And some water, because I forgot to say drink your water. Very important. All right, so let's just jump into it. Who am I talking about and why am I doing this damn live? Well, okay. Let's just go ahead and start with good old Purple Phoenix. Everybody give a round of applause to Purple Phoenix, the Michael Monkey Vaughan guru of information. Lots of repeated videos from Wendy, who has done an excellent job. She does a lot of hard work for Purple. I would be very grateful to have such a dedicated person do the work for me, but unfortunately, I'm all on my lonesomes these days, except for a few good friends. Definitely not a weasel anymore. So I'm winging it out here on these streets. No, better known as True Crime with Evil at one point. Is that right, Kelly Dime? True Crime with Evil? It's got a nice ring, I think. But nonetheless, Perp said that the way that I was covering Michael's case with the 145 videos that are in my playlist of Michael is, bashing, harassing, saying evil things, saying that Tyler did something to Michael, accusing them of being guilty, all that jazz. I think we've all heard it, all right? And I don't really mind that. Because she said that before and people say it all the time. However, when it becomes intentionally false, the shit that comes out of her mouth and other creators' mouths, when I have already proven it, I've already gone over the facts, and you want to review it, which you haven't yet, you just pinpoint and pick out the times that I may slip a little bit with my pettiness, or I get really irritated thinking about the times that people have been literally harassed and actually doxxed. Dree. Dree had a hand in that. Kinsey had a hand in that with some of the friends that I used to have and a few that I still do. All because of some recordings that should not be in itself controversial if they are cleared and innocent, right? From the perspective of the one saying this, which is Purple, and Crime Lines and Lies as well, and a few others. And we'll get into that today. So the only thing that I feel like I am obligated to do for Michael is to prove with receipts and the burden that it has on me to hold this information, some of this information, when it could really just make my life easier and put it out there. Okay, you win. I think that's kind of what the whole point was, wasn't it? See how far we can push this to get Eve to give out a little more so that we can go ahead and spin the narrative, no matter what it is, that I'm the bad guy. I'm the fall guy. I am the one to be used to uplift the narrative, period. Whatever that is. Which is what? Herb. Brooke from Crime Lines and Lies, Trev Time, who I really respected at one time. But to be involved in such grotesque speculation and downright false information, that was the last person I ever thought would do that. Perp, sure. Brooke, yeah, totally. Totally. But not Trev. Level, of course. Of course he would be involved in releasing information or helping dox a good friend of mine. And then for all of these people that I once trusted to not only turn their backs, but then join these very same people and to confide in the very same people that did horrific things and went real life on others. This is a missing child who has who the case was muffled on YouTube. It didn't even have a chance to get on YouTube properly without drama. So nobody can listen to the actual words being spoken and what's being said, because that's not the narrative. I am the narrative of the bad guy, or anyone who speaks out on what they know, what they've heard, and what they have been researching for 2 years. So let's do it. If we're gonna be the bad guys, just let's all let it all out. Let it hang. And that's today. That is today. I mean, no disrespect in any way, unless I'm telling you it's intentionally disrespectful. And it's definitely against creators who allow being manipulated, who they actually think are manipulating for their content. But it's not true. You're being manipulated hardcore. And if you don't think for a second that you aren't, and that you have control of the content that comes out about Michael Vaughn's case, I think deep down you know better, but I'll prove it for you. How about that? Hey, Archangel, I see your comment this time. I didn't see it last time. I'm sorry. Welcome in. Let me catch up with chat. Julia T, you're all getting air conditioner covers for Christmas. I would. That's a good idea. Especially those who are close to a Taco Bell. Please cover your AC fans, because the shit might hit it. Sandy Gant was thinking of Brandy and how strong she's been. That's where the healing thoughts come from. Absolutely. Yeah. Brooks, Michael looks so much like my youngest son. Ditto. When he was that age, it's heartbreaking to know he's missing. Absolutely. Hey, Jeep, good to see you. All right. Julia T, thank you for being here, because I'm going to have to get a lot of confirmation from you and a few others in the chat so that people can feel like not only am I speaking the truth, sis, but it's always good to have that confirmation. So what did Perp say that grinded my gears, if you will? Welcome in. And for those on the replay, thank you for being here. Hit that like button. And if you aren't subscribed, go ahead and hit it. You might like what you see. You might like what you hear. So, what did she say? Well, it's always the norm for Perp to come at me when there is something going on in the background that I have probably no part in, nor do I even know about. But somehow the information that I have been covering for a very long time suddenly becomes important for whatever reason, and then I'm a topic of discussion. Now, you have to remember that you don't have to listen to me, but it has become, I think, on the docket, if you will, to intentionally seek out my content about Michael Vaughn's case and then exploit that for whatever narrative it is over there. So let's just play it.
What if we're still doing this when we're 50?
Have that kind of job security.
Thank you, Brooke. Gifted Carla Bergerana membership. Thank you so much. That's so nice. Give me just 1 second and I will get Perp Slide pulled up. Hold on. Look, even my computer's like, don't do it, Eve.
Everybody is welcome in this chat.
Well, that's a damn lie.
From a lot of the side effects with this medication, but this
Medication. Oh, that's Tabby's life. Sorry. That's the one happening right now. Lovely. It was Monkey Monday. I usually have a live downloaded to play, but not today. I've been busy. I'm a mom. Doing mom shit. My computer really does not want me to play. It really doesn't. It's like, no, I just won't. I'm not going to do this. But did she do Monkey Monday on Round Table this time?
Ice cream cone, and it was everywhere. We got to play at the park. We'll never give up.
And is involved in Michael's abduction. This is Sarah's husband, Stacy Wandra, 30 years old, a male. Stacy was also living in
Sorry, I don't know. I literally don't follow her. I get sent her shit. So it's called the Round Table. I sincerely didn't know she moved all that stuff over there. She had like other people do her lives for her while she was sick, but I guess that's when it happened. I don't know. We're getting there. Hold tight. And Crime Lies and Lies is getting reviewed today too.
Brandy and Tyler have been through enough. They don't need this. Welcome to Monkey Monday. We are going to
All right, let's go.
Play some videos this morning that Wendy has done. We want to showcase Michael and all of Wendy's hard work. So let's say our good mornings and then we'll get into the videos. Kendra was first today. Thank you. Ironic that. Good morning, everybody. And good morning, everybody in the back. So we're going to go over Michael's case pretty much from the beginning in Wendy's videos. Wendy has done an amazing job putting together the facts.
Thanks, Chief. I appreciate it.
You know, it's kind of ironic that we've got so many channels that are supporting Brandy, but then we've got those few that aren't.
Well, I'm going to answer that question for you. It's really easy. It's really easy to stick with facts that are very little, very, very little. It's on the poster that can be shared and has been, I'm sure, hundreds of thousands of times. I don't feel like that's good enough for Michael in a sense of getting potential tips in for him. You never know when it's that one person that's watching out of nowhere that saw something or remembered something that they weren't aware of at the time. It happens all the time in cases. And speaking of stats, real quick, did you know that 11% of murder cases, of all murder cases, are solved by law enforcement? 11%. That means 1 out of 10, roughly. That's terrible. Do you know how many times, or what the percentage is, rather, of murder cases that are solved by help from the public? Over 55%. 55.6, I believe it was. Way better than 11%. But unfortunately, a lot of homicide cases, and this includes children, never get solved. So you actually have an even lesser chance of justice that way. And police. So the public is crucial to justice being served because they are the ones that have a better chance of bringing information that law enforcement can then get justice for the child or the victim. Yeah, that is a lot of cold cases, Shani. So this is why I take it very personal when I am being told that I'm covering it wrong or the intentions are bad. I just want to see my theory be right. And I honestly would hate to be right about a family member or someone close to Michael Vaughan, whoever that may be, allegedly, could harm a child or anyone for that matter. It's heartbreaking. I wish this wasn't a thing. I wish this case would never have happened. Any child should be at home where they belong, not being covered on YouTube. Come on. Do you really think that I am that terrible of a person? But I am the fall guy. I am the whipping post. I am the doormat, if you will, of all the things that don't sound right, that make people feel uneasy, that make people think when they don't want to. They just want a non-Summer Wells case, a non-chaotic, horrific mess. They want nice, easy, we're just going to get the bad guy who's out there that is less than a 1% chance. Like the Elizabeth Smart case. Those rarities, right? It's not always that way, though, guys. The statistics are the statistics. Trafficking is very rare. That it's trafficking from an abduction from a predator. Typically, it's within the home that trafficking is going on with children and teens, and even girlfriends and wives, and husbands even. So I think that we need to can the shit over there and let's just clear the air and assume that I am just a very stubborn but compassionate person who would hate to see justice slip through the cracks for this boy. How about that? Let that be your basis, no matter what has been said or done in the past. Let's clear our minds.
Making slanderous videos, tagging Michael in every single live that they do.
Where's the receipt on that?
Brandy and Tyler have been through enough.
Where did I slander them? If anybody can give me any receipt on the slander, what is slander? Perp, tell me what slander is. What are the legal ramifications of slander? Because that's really the only point of slander, is to know the legal definition, because that's how you are, someone who is actually slandered gets rewarded through civil court. So let me know what that is and give me some examples.
They don't need this, especially around the holidays. This has got to be very, very hard. Christmas is in a week. And Michael should be home.
Yes, he should. And the longer that we're bickering back and forth about bullshit that doesn't matter, just because it makes everybody feel a little uneasy while they're listening, I'm covering Michael Vaughan with receipts. And then I also say it is speculation when it is. Period. If I haven't done that, go ahead and put those receipts on your live. Show me. Show people what you're saying. Because after 2 years, you haven't shown a damn thing.
To celebrate with his family. You know, I couldn't even imagine what it's like to have a child missing and not knowing where your baby is. Good morning, Linda. So we're going to go ahead and watch some of Wendy's videos. So I hope you guys enjoy.
Please, if you feel
Vaughn, a
so
curious little boy
enlightened,
who went missing from around
go watch that. It's the same video over and over, with a little bit of updated information. Very vague, but Wendy does great, and I'm not shaming Wendy. Wendy does an excellent job, but it is the same thing over and over every Monkey Monday. And I feel like that really wouldn't help bring in tips to find him or help get him justice or home. That's just how I roll. But if you're comfortable with the same thing regurgitated over and over, that's great. Do you, boo boo. I think it's great. That's what the mama wants. What mama wants, she gets over there. Cool. It's fine. That's not how I roll. That's not what my channel is about. It's to actually help whatever way I can. Even if I fail and never do, it doesn't matter. I feel like if I were in the same situation, this is what I would want. And I have been told that that's what people who have missing loved ones want. That's why I had Equus Search membership. That you guys helped fuck it up. Not Perp specifically, but Brandy and company did. Absolutely. With the help of me being a little dumb and naive about things. But it didn't warrant that. It didn't warrant that. And you know damn well, Lana Westbrook, it did not warrant. And Crystal Jewel, it did not warrant it. It's really, really disgusting and pathetic to do that to somebody.
SW9 that in Fruitland, Idaho. 559 days ago. He is 6 years old.
Earlier, Chief Huff told me they finished processing.
Bring to a conclusion. Our partnerships with assisting agencies are strong and we continue to work closely with the pay at.
You know, has, in my opinion, done the most to this family as far as harassing, bullying, just downright nasty, vile to this family. And that's True Crime with Eve. Now, I just looked and she had.
Oh, my name was actually put out there for once. Instead of tiptoeing around my name, at least she had the balls this time to say it was me that she was talking about. I appreciate that. But it's kind of hypocritical, perp, to sit there and say that I'm vile, nasty, dox, harass, blah, 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 and you don't show a damn receipt. Hell, even Brooks made at least a 7-second clip that she took out of context, and it's not the entirety of what I said, but that's okay. That's okay. At least she had the effort to go clip that and show it on hers to prove a point of how horrible I am. And it wasn't really that bad, even if it was meant the way that she tried to portray it. So do some fucking work for once and stop making everyone else do dirty work for you. And if you can't find it and no one else can, quit using vague fucking words like dox harass, looking like Jody Sue Brown over there. Do some work. Show me where I have done these things. Because honestly, if you can't prove it, that in fact is slander. That is the actual definition. You're telling me that I am harming someone. Prove it. Then it's slander. But you're too lazy. You're too lazy. And Michael deserves better than that. And I guess Brandy does too. Because she invested in you. You were handpicked, remember? Do you want to see? Remember how taken aback you were about that? About being handpicked? You were like, what do you mean? What? I wasn't handpicked. Yes, you were. And I guess it's time to show it. If that makes you feel better. Hey, hun. This was a message that Brandy received. Hey, hun, I have a few channels going to message you. Ziggy and Purple Knights are going to help you cover Monkey, and Ziggy will talk to Molly, Go Lightly, when she had a channel, which would be amazing. Sorry, I think this is Trixie. Not very thorough. But anyway, talk to Molly, which would be amazing as she has such a large following and she covers it on her main channel. No drama. Yay, Monkey. I will continue to keep on my creators to cover him as often as possible. Hugs. Talk soon. Trixie. Brandy says, fuck Ziggy and MGL. Wow. Fair enough. I get it. Fair enough. So, you know this. You know that Trixie reached out. And at first it was Crimes and Critters. Critters Doing Harm on the Farm that won the bid. Because she's not speculative. She keeps it about just the basics. Is that what Brandy said? Yeah. We just talk about what I want to talk about. Meaning Brandy. So she won the bid. She was number one top dog. Now she's out. She gone. Because she fucked up. She mixed the cases into Brandy's very, what's the word? Dismay. Because of the Dawn situation with the trafficking and the whatever. Which I understand. I'm not saying that's wrong. I agree with Brandy on that. I would not appreciate that either. But do you think that potentially one day, maybe perhaps, if you start covering these true crime cases that you say you're about to start getting back into, you won't make a mistake? That would not maybe favor the narrative or whatever it is. And you get blindsided like that? Because I don't really think that Daisy actually thought about it. She should have, but she didn't think about it. She didn't think thoroughly enough to keep them separate. So that's when you came in, right? And then really helps to have a very toxic chat to perpetuate the hate and the mean girling, if you will, on me, because I need to shut the hell up. I'm not a good look. I'm hurting the brand here. I get it. It was already happening before you. But then you have people that you know damn well helped dox and harass people. It's your man Levitt, your homeboy, with the help of a group of girls that used to speak with Brandy that helped dox others that I once knew and worked with. And admitted to it. How does that work? Do you support that behavior? Or are you going to tell me the same excuse you did last time? That had nothing to do with me. You need to talk to Level about that. As he's on your panel, and then he hops off real fast. Okay. But you're supporting it. That makes you complicit. I just hope that you know that. Absolutely. Makes you complicit. So, the receipts would be nice. This is a lesson. When you're covering, if you're going to review my channel, you explain your issue and then follow it up with, here's the receipt, and then you show it. See this right here? You show it. You show it. And then you move on. Any questions? Let me know.
Has 145 videos on a playlist of Michael. And with
I'm getting bitched at for covering Michael with 145 videos. And that's not including about 40 more of them that I've either cut down or put in another video that isn't on the playlist or whatever. Or that I was told to take it down. It was too much. Out of respect. Not anymore. Not anymore. All bets are off because Michael matters more. I don't care about this shit anymore.
within those videos, she questions things. She makes statements that aren't true. She insinuates.
Which ones? Which ones? Let me know. Because you've been saying this for a long time and you have yet to tell me and show me with receipts and examples. And you know this because your blanket statements are much more easier to make others believe you because your following is a little lazy themselves. They're good at just going after hard in the paint because it's easy. It didn't take a lot of brain cells to do that. So I get it. But you're going to have to do better and do some work. Like 145 videos worth of coverage that matters, even if it makes you feel a little funny.
And tries to get people to believe that even after the parents were cleared and were no longer being investigated, she still continued to go after this family. She didn't try and bring awareness. She didn't, just share his picture and his story and the facts like the family has asked. She did more. She was in with the group that everybody calls the Twitter Weasels, where they recorded and released phone conversations of a frustrated, in shock woman whose son is missing and she has no idea where he is. So then they tried to go after her as a mother because she had, out of frustration, said a cuss word. Now they have released phone calls that Brandy thought she was talking to a friend. And we all know when we're talking to a friend how we say things that, we don't necessarily mean, or they're never going to go anywhere. We're just venting to our, who we consider a friend. I've done it. I've yelled at my children. But
Oh, I'm sure you have. There are people out here that don't berate their children, though. Yelling is one thing, but get your goddamn ass is not yelling. That is frustration and anger and rage. And this is what she's talking about, by the way. And I'm sure everyone's already heard it. I don't think I need to play that unless somebody in the chat is unaware. I don't even care. I will play it. I don't care. But that's not what this was. The lab tried to do that too and downplay it. And then he retracted and said, you're right. You're right. It was wrong. You don't yell at your kids. And then he retracted that again. And he was like, it was blown out of proportion. How many fucking times do I have to tell you? It's not an appropriate thing to say to a 2-year-old child. I don't care what you say. I don't care. Your anger problems and your frustration is not that child's fault. They're 2. Or any child of any age. It's respect. And listen, I do understand that sometimes we lose our cools a little bit. We get frustrated. We do, as parents. I don't cuss at my kids. I don't. So, and if you do that and you're okay with it, that's fine. But there are people out here who agree. And first of all, I didn't release that recording. I didn't do that. That was already out there. That was already on the streets. But it did shock people into listening for once instead of just sharing flyers. It did actually shock people enough to go, okay, maybe I should listen a little more into this to get the details. Not about who's guilty or not, or who's suspicious or not, but just listen to the facts. Listen to the people that have actually really, really stuck by the parents on Twitter to help and then just got shit on. How about that?
But in doing all those things, that does not make her guilty of anything. And the police have cleared them.
Absolutely not. This is a lie that has been perpetuated for so long. I would love for them to be cleared. Like, that would be great. I would love that. They were asked again recently, are they cleared? No answer. None. I wish they would. It would be so much better. Being a focus or not being a focus of the investigation, I wish that that was sufficient enough. Like, I really wish that that would be the same as cleared, but it's not. It's just the way it is. And parents have been cleared at the very beginning and then became suspects, and vice versa. We don't really know what their investigative tactics are. But what we do know is that Miranda rights were read in February of 2022. There is no other reason for that other than that Tyler felt his rights are that if he feels detained in any way, meaning having a conversation with a police officer, which was going to happen, they read him his rights, no matter the outcome. That happened. That happened. And he failed a polygraph too. So those things are not just something you brush off in a missing child's case, no matter who you are. No one would ever let that shit slide in the Summerwells case or in any missing person's child's case. Nobody would allow that. But there's special treatment here, isn't there? Because that's your job. And I'm not blaming you for it, but you're not going to lie on me to make your point across. You're going to have to show the receipts. Because otherwise, you're just a pigeon talking out of your ass. Show the proof. For once, be a big girl and do your work. You were handpicked for this and you're failing at your job. Come on. I believe you can do this. It's going to take a little effort. You're going to have to listen to my voice, and I know it sucks. But I think you can do this. You're not going to find anything. And if you do, you might twist it, but I would just be so proud that you actually did some work and not just talk out of your hole.
The police cleared them almost a year ago, and yet she still continues to go after this family.
Can anybody in the chat or anybody out there show me the cleared proof receipt thing? Focus of the not a focus of the investigation is not proof. I wish it was. I really, really do. If anybody can send me that, show me that, prove it to me, I will say 1,000 Hail Marys, ask for the forgiveness of all time, and disappear from this case. Yeah, I thought so. There isn't any receipts for that because it doesn't exist.
She doesn't want to know the facts. She just wants to try and convince people that Tyler and Brandy had something to do with the disappearance of Michael, even when law enforcement said no, he was abducted. They found evidence at the Wanderer's home that Michael was there.
So, they collected evidence. They never said, to my knowledge anyway, they never said that they actually have evidence. And what that evidence is, that was from LaWanda. He probably got her information from Brandy. Because law enforcement don't speak to nobody. So if you could tell me what evidence that is and how law enforcement knows that just merely collecting the evidence is proof, you just let me know. I've never heard of it. They collected pieces of evidence and then they sent it to a lab, a private one, mind you. And we haven't heard a damn thing about those results. And they won't. Why? It's an investigation. We're not privy to that. But to say that it proves he was in the house, because the theory is from law enforcement is that they believe he was in the backyard and then moved. And they believe that he is, unfortunately, as much as this hurts me, deceased. Evidence can be crap. Evidence is evidence collected, but it only matters when it's in the hands of the courts. You can collect evidence that this dirt pile over here may or may not have DNA evidence. We're going to send it off to see if it does. Then when it comes back and the results say it is, all right, now we have probable cause. I don't see that right now. So we can't say that. You got to learn the language, Perp. Got to learn the language, honey.
So I don't understand why she keeps going after Brandy and Tyler.
Put a 1 in the chat if I have gone after Brandy at all in this live yet. Put a 2 if I have not, or that you believe I have not. But put a 1 in the chat if you honestly believe that I have actually done that. And then, I'm going to say, put the receipt in the chat. What did I say to go after her? I'm sincerely asking. Don't appease me. I'm sincerely asking. Because we're going to clear this shit up today. I see a lot of tubes. I appreciate that. Because I agree. Shani even says, too, for all the videos. Julia says, if they think he's deceased, then why produce an age progression photo? Yeah, that's in the works. So I think his age progression. Well, I'm going to answer that real quick, Julia. It's because the family is privy to have that no matter what. If the case is still open after a certain amount of time, they are eligible for that age progression photo. So they're going to get it. And I don't think it's going to hurt anything. It might hurt to see that, though. Kind of like with the Summer Wells. Like, that photo is haunting to me because I don't feel like that's what she would have looked like already. Like, she looks 11 in that age progression. I don't like it. She looks way older than I feel like she would look. But maybe that new photo could, in fact, help. Because we don't know for 100% certainty that he is deceased. Michael. We don't.
I know she's upset that, Tyler didn't get on social media and, talk. Well, that's his right not to. He don't have to talk to nobody. That doesn't make him guilty. That man beats himself up every single second of every single day because he was the one home that day. Imagine, put yourself in his shoes. He's the protector. He's the one that keeps them safe. He's the one that, watches over, and makes sure he protects his family.
Jen Hannah, I hope you recover quickly.
He didn't do anything wrong. He went to wake up the baby, which is Buggy. She was a baby at the time. Changed her diaper, ordered some pizza. You never expect your child to, disappear.
No, you don't. But here's the problem. Here's the problem. And I'm going to clear this up once and for all about older sister and younger brother. Or Michael's oldest brother. Red and blue. Blue and red, whatever. The point of them two and their timelines, which, again, we're not privy to, and they're minors, and I really don't like speaking on anything about that, but because a 5-year-old boy who is a minor is missing, and that's all we can do is spread awareness for him, that timeline is a part of this case. It is what it is. It has already been shared, the basics of them being at home or whatever. So, big stink about older sister and her timeline. Biggest stink in the world. And I think it's important to explain, with the help of Tyler and Randy, why it's a big deal for people to know just the background. That's it. Give me one sec. And then we'll talk about the 911 call. Can y'all hear me? Is it playing? Can you hear that, guys? I don't think you can. Um, yeah, just let me know if you can't hear that or hear anything.
Tyler changing the baby's diaper. That's never changed. As
Can
far as
that?
I can
Okay,
gather,
here it is.
it's always been 6:30. That has never changed. Tyler did not lie about that. When Kira got home, or fuck, I said her name. I shouldn't have said her name. When the older sister got home, she didn't see Michael, but Michael was allowed to play in the backyard. They'd have a fenced-in backyard. He was allowed to go into the shop and play with his trucks and the little toys and stuff that they have for him there. So it wasn't uncommon for him to be in different areas like that. So for her not to see him wasn't all that
Sorry, there's something going
uncommon
on.
because
I apologize.
he
1 second.
would play where he knew he was allowed to play. So when she came home, she didn't see him, and that's because he was playing with his trucks or his cars in the shop. And then she took a shower and she took a nap. As far as the older brother locking himself in his room, I've never heard that myself personally. I've also never spoken to the babysitter personally, so
Good gravy.
I don't
Sorry.
know. I do have recorded phone calls with the babysitter, lots of them.
That's Krusty, the recorder, the evil recorder of Brandy and company. This was a public space, so this is not a recording that was privately done. This is a public space that Brandy asked Krusty to do for her, to explain the details. And she finishes that sentence with, I have a lot of phone calls with the babysitter who was in chat, and I hope that she feels much better soon. That she does not think that she is involved in any way, shape, or form. She's just batshit crazy. And she is a trooper because she was like, yeah, I kind of am. Which I love her for. We all can be a little batshit crazy. But nonetheless, there is her saying, Brandy's friend at the time, saying, Kira did not see him. Older sister did not see him at all when she came home from color guard after 4. I have 5 different times that were said about the time that she got home. One was 3:45, one was 4:14, one was 4:48, 4:30 something. You get my drift. So I hate to pry. I really do, but it's very it begs to question what was all going on that you didn't see, younger sibling. For a house that's pretty compact, that you should be able to hear a lot of commotion, right? And why is that a very big no-no to just clear up? Why is that the secret? Why is that a secret? It doesn't protect anybody in the family. It just protects someone from looking a way that they don't want to be looked at, if you will, if that makes sense. So let's listen to this. I think this might help.
But how would Kira know? Because Kira said she didn't see him.
Through the park at 4:48 p.m.
See, there's the 4:48. Now, I don't know if that's true. That's just what Brandy is saying. And see, that's not going after the family. That's not me saying, so, oh, guilty. We're getting a timeline together. It's good to know who saw what and who didn't see what. It's not bad unless you're making it that way. Is it bad? I don't know. But if that's not enough, we can keep going. Sorry, it's loading. Give me just a second.
I still don't even remember. Like, I remember getting home. I remember Tyler talking to the police. I remember Dad driving down the dirt road into the cornfield. And then I drove down to the splash pad and got jumped out. And this is actually all on camera. But then apparently I drove back up into the neighborhood. I was at the end of the neighborhood. I was screaming for Michael. I talked to some neighbors. And I went back to the house, but at one point in time, I guess I drove the Jeep back down to the splash pad. I still have no recollection of this. I drove the Jeep to the splash pad, parked it, jumped out. Tyler was coming from a different way through the park, backside through the neighborhoods, up the backside drainage, and we both went separate ways, apparently. I still, even after being told this, because I'm like, I have no idea how the Jeep got down there. I have no idea. Probably shouldn't have been driving.
I would probably have to agree with that because honestly, from an investigative standpoint, from the training manual that they have for rapid deployment for a missing child, you stay the fuck at the house and let professionals go search while they get your statements and try to calm you down because I'm sure that's hard. But I really have a hard time understanding how during this time, older sister had already left, not knowing Michael was missing. She had to be called back after going to a friend's house. And why this is important? Why is this important? Because the timeline of people inside the house, besides obviously the one reporting the child missing, it's crucial to have a second pair of eyes on the boy and confirm that. We don't have it. Nobody does. That right there in itself begs to question, and still does to this day, why can't you just clear it up? It is so easy. And I don't know what else to say about it. The lies that have been spoken on about this,
We lost a kid.
It has been approximately
6 hours.
So this is a TikTok of older brother with a friend walking at around midnight? After midnight? For a monkey. I don't know at this point about the searches. I think they were deploying scent dogs in the wee hours of the morning. Can't remember exactly when, but This is what older brother was doing at that time during the search. So that you know with your own peepers and your own ears that I'm not lying about it. I'm being honest about it. And this should not be, in my opinion, harmful to a case. This is a fact. This is a fact. But I want you to listen to the words. Don't get so caught up in the fact that I'm playing a recording of the older brother that was on TikTok that was posted by two innocent children who were just doing what they thought was right and getting information out there, the right thing to do. Listen to what is said.
He was last seen at 5.
Yeah, he got last seen. He was
at 5. Last seen at 5. He was last seen at 5.
Yeah.
So let's just say, or let's just go ahead and deduce that no one had a damn clue about a timeline in that house. Hence the issues that we are facing today. Did y'all hear that? I just want to make sure because it is kind of low. Did you hear the time? Because I don't want to say it. I want you to confirm it, right? Because I get blamed for misinformation and slander. Last seen at 5 is what she said. So let me turn it up, crank it. Not being rude at all, just being honest.
At 5.
Yeah, he hours in 2 minutes.
No, he was last seen at 5.
Yeah, he.
You hear it? Everybody clear? Last seen at 5, damn it.
No, he was last seen at 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Clear as mud, right?
He got last seen. He was last seen at 5 o'clock, so that'd be in like 5 minutes. Wait,
If
no,
you're in the Idaho Fruitland area, please look for a kid with the blue Minecraft shirt, no pants, flip-flops. He's like really blonde and he has blue eyes.
Yes, and he's short. He's short. He's short.
Yes, he is like a toddler.
So if any of my followers or anyone
Please,
that
if you see them, tell the police.
Because we need to find him. He's been gone for a while, and I believe he's freaked out because he's been gone for 6 hours.
Knowing him, no.
Yeah.
No,
Bye.
not happening.
Older brother says, knowing him, no. Not happening. Meaning, no. He'd be back, is what I assume. This is speculation on my part, 100%. But I assume he's saying, this isn't right. Knowing him, this is out of character, if you will. I'll say it like that. So do you see how seeing from the mouths of babes that it would say, all right, we have an issue here. Houston, we have a problem. We need to, obviously, after a year, when JD Huff said at the presser on 7/27 that we're still trying to get that timeline leading up to his disappearance. We've got to figure that out. Please send in your tips. Well, damn, I don't know how else to do that for people. I don't know how else to do it, but to be like, well, let's go over what we know and what we have. So you get it. You get it.
You know, I've left the room with my own children when they were young to, do things. You can't keep eyes on children 24/7. You can put in, child locks, but honestly, children these days are so stinking smart. They can run smartphones better than most adults. My granddaughter.
Yeah, that's enough of that. I can't even. You cannot put yourself in a situation that you haven't been through. So it's irrelevant at that point. You can relate, I guess, about protocol, but I digress. It's a waste of time. Purple knows best, you know? So what I'm trying to get at is, Purple, what I just did, first of all, there's nothing wrong with it. Second of all, that's how you do it and prove your point and then have receipts. If you can go ahead and do that, that'd be great. You have the memo now. There's no excuses. And nothing that I just did bashed anybody. Did it raise questions for some people? Probably. I can't help that. That's not my responsibility to protect the feelings of whomever is watching. It's your job. That's your job. Right? But my channel is about getting the facts out there and making people think and decide on their own how they think or feel. Period. All right, Brooke, you're next. From Crime Lines and Lies. This is really going to piss me off. And I feel really awful, actually. And I know that's going to hurt some people's feelings and make you mad, but it really hurts my feelings for the people around these 4 suspects. Alleged suspects, I guess. Once called suspects. At the amount of hate thrown at them that's unnecessary, that's over the top. With no basis of any truth. Or that could be proven. It's really gross. Chris said this case is about Monkey and finding him, not the feelings of anyone else. Preach it, sister. You're taking away from my sleuthing time, Brooke, but I will do it for you. And I'll give you credit, Brooke. I'll give you credit. You can make some pretty funny quips over there in Oklahoma. Very cute. Very charming or whatever. But you don't always have to comment on somebody's weight when they're obviously hefty and obviously not playing with a full set of bocce balls. It's a little gross. It's like Perp saying a kid with autism instead of an autistic boy. That kind of gross. I'm going to skip past the mumbo jumbo. So I don't care about the intros.
Call and see if he indeed asked to borrow a car or if it was about something else. Now, this is in regards to Carson, who just goes to work and barely knows anybody in the neighborhood. But he did mention that he bought a car from the Wanderers. He did mechanic work for them. He did taxi, did this and that. Then we have to find this missing persons report. Yeah, he stepped in it big time. Big time. Nothing, if someone isn't making any sense or they're giving you frivolous detail, 9 times out of 10, they have something to hide.
Yeah, people talk in circles to draw away from the critical subject. If you start talking about smaller things and just wrap it around a bigger thing, then suddenly it doesn't seem as big.
Oh, Believe me, Trev, on Twitter, that was a constant thing. It just wasn't from the people that you would think it was from.
Well, and you know those people that talk, just to have something to say? Now, obviously, he has a lot of reasons to try to talk himself out of this.
Yeah, I think that's what it is it's talking in circles to avoid talking about what actually matters.
Because we've seen it in other cases.
Oh, I have a perfect example for you. I really do. And this recording that I'm going to play has been extremely troubling. The amount of circles that I have ran trying to understand it. Let's see.
What is it?
I turned the house upside down.
I figured that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out is like how many minutes between like realizing he was gone, like to figure out how far he could have gone.
I don't know. I probably walked out of the house at about 7 o'clock, which is about the same time Kira left.
Yeah.
So, and I probably
Where they're, trying to cover up. They don't want to answer the pertinent.
Okay, that's take one. So, sister doesn't know he's missing at this point. But he leaves at the same time she does, which we've come to find out that sister leaves roughly 10 minutes before. So that's not true. 10 minutes is a big difference, but I guess, hey, you're panicking. Whatever. I guess I can understand. But you heard Brandy earlier say, hey, I drove back to the splash pad. Tyler was coming from the back of the splash pad in the drainage ditch area that we all are so familiar with, right? How can that be? When the 911 was allegedly called during that trip back there in the drainage area. And police be at the house. How can that be?
So then they didn't dispatch an officer until after 7:28 then?
I imagine they blew shit up from there, but then they wanted to get, like, the local, whoever, I don't know how it fucking works, but
Yeah.
They called me back, like, almost immediately. I don't know. Could have been a minute or two. Like, I don't know. It seemed pretty quick.
So the 7:20.
You either know or you don't. You either know or you don't. If you don't know, you get it. You don't even have to have law enforcement. That is public information that had to be pried out of them too. And it was never cleared up except for the weasels. Thankful for the weasels for that. 911 was called at 7:21. What was the time said? Let's listen. The original time.
Right. But the daughter ultimately left at 6:45, right? From the house.
Yes.
Okay. And then at 7:05 is when Tyler called Brandy?
Yes.
Okay. And told Brandy that he suspected Michael was gone and he went to the park and searched and came back home by that time.
I don't know exactly what he told her. I just know that he called her and told her that he couldn't find Michael. But I know that he had went to the park before.
I don't think he would have been able to stand up. Would have been the one at the bottom of the park where that dude was walking, where I showed you guys, where I walked down there. But he didn't make it there. No, because he was never seen on camera.
All right. Never seen on camera. But wait. But wait, there's more.
That time. Right. But the daughter ultimately left at 6:45, right? From the house.
Yes.
Okay. And then at 7:05 is when Tyler called Brandy?
Yes.
Okay. And told Brandy that he suspected Michael was gone, and he went to the park and searched and came back home by that time.
I don't know exactly what he told her. I just know that he called her and told her that he couldn't find Michael. But I know that he had went to the park before he called Brandy.
Okay. Now, my other question is in the last couple of spaces, there was also some kind of conflict about the neighbor situation.
Okay.
When Michael went to the neighbor's house, the first neighbor's house, that was at 6:42. Is that correct?
I don't know exactly what time he went there. I know at 6:42 was when he was seen in front of his mailbox. That's when
right, and that was at the first home that he went to where the husband was in the garage.
Correct.
Okay. How many other homes did Michael go to while he was looking to play with other kids? Do you know that?
Let me find my map. Okay. So he went to okay, if you
I'm just looking for what I'm looking for is like a total number of homes. 2, 5, 6, whatever.
4.
Okay. Now,
This is important because you know how she just said, Tyler called her at 7:05. Well, there's a coworker that claims Miss Brandy took a shift for her named Leslie. And that there was a call into her work from Tyler, like the landline, like the old school. And this is what she said. Very scary. Now, when you ask about this, it's very violent, very aggressive. But I don't think it was warranted to say this. But here's the answer. I'm sorry. There's the answer. I'm sorry. It's a little crude, but we're adults here. Gonna kill the bitch. There was no fucking call to my work. That's the words. I didn't choose them. But this coworker is saying there was a call into the actual Albertsons store. I don't know if that's true. This is just what was said. To someone that got out onto a public Facebook group. I didn't secretly steal this or anything. This is out there. Not YouTube doesn't know about it, but Twitter does and Facebook does. So this person who works at Albertsons with Tyler and Brandy say that her cousin or a family member who works there with Leslie up at the front there took the call. He's the one that told her this because she wasn't there. Brandy was taking her shift, you see. So she's getting this from secondhand information. Just letting you know. And then she was given the heads up that there's a call. Somebody had called in looking for you. Tyler is calling for you. There's something going on. Now, is that true or not? I have no idea. We don't hear that version when Brandy says it, so I assume there's an issue there. But somebody that actually was working there told this employee this. And this is the reaction. So what do you think about that? Like, is this something that you would go, oh, well, that's strange? Would you question it? That's all I'm asking. Would you question it? Of course you would. Of course you would. Does this make you feel a little icky? Sure, I'm sure it does. Made me feel icky. Made me feel like, holy shit, I really did not expect this kind of verbiage and reaction about something so trivial to my mind. If it doesn't matter, if it's not a big deal. I'm trying to find the other one where it actually shows the call. Like her saying that she was coming in to take over her shift or whatever it was. And ironically, remember Tanner Dogbone Butler? Remember him? Dogbone looking ass? His family and Leslie are cool. Totally know each other. He seems to, Tanner's family seems to creep up a lot when I'm researching. It's really weird. It could be innocent, but I'm just telling you. I see him all the time. Oh, here. Family member of Tanner Butler. There she is. That's the one. That allegedly Randy took the shift for. Allegedly, do not know for a fact. Just something that I've observed. So, while I'm looking for that,
Anything like that.
hold on.
Like, we're not trying.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, I do not get your backyard's fenced in anyway. Never mind. Forget I said that. You know, back here in the shop or behind the house, like, he doesn't play over on that side of the house where he digs the hole, but because, well...
Oh, probably shouldn't put that out there. Let me quickly turn that off.
That side where you're pointing at, that's by Jen's house.
Whoops. That was not right. So sorry about that. Here it is. So Brandy is confronted about this Leslie situation. This fucking bitch, Leslie needs to hush. I'm gonna tell her. Oh man. Why is it so hostile? Because this makes me go, well, what does she need to hush about? What does she need to hush about? That Tyler called Albertsons? That you covered for her shift? What is the damn deal? What is so bad to clear this up? And do you see the little things? The devil's in the details kind of thing? It should be cleared up very quickly, very easily, effortlessly. And it never is. It's just drama. If these things would have been answered without the hate from on Twitter, we would not be here. We wouldn't. And that's the truth. Because you would be kind of a sick piece of shit to just start drama with a parent of a missing child for funsies and content. But we're not going to lie on Michael's case and act like these things aren't happening just because that's so. We're not going to do that. We're not going to just hide away. Does that make sense, guys? Now, do we remember Dree? One of the Cali Dime, Dree, the group that was also with the recorder, the evil Krusty. You remember that, right? I like to give her or anyone the benefit of the doubt. Very cordial when I have to be around people that I'm not too fond of. I'm not. Just going to go straight to cutthroat bitch and be rude. I'll be cordial. But when you hurt my family or people that I consider family that have done zilch wrong to deserve doxing because they have opinions and they fight for Michael's case too, we have an issue. And I don't think it's fair to act like you're innocent in the whole I didn't know the recordings were happening and I wasn't okay with it thing when you were. Don't lie about it. Be real about it. You knew damn well Krusty was recording, not only because Brandy asked for some of it to keep up with the timelines to explain on Twitter to keep everybody at bay, which actually backfired, but you defended Krusty. Every single one of those girls defended it. So if you could kindly stop the fucking attacks on people who have opinions with receipts to back it up, please do so. And do the right thing. So Krusty says, I'm being attacked for doing what I thought was right. And I agree with her. As fucked up as she has been lately. Running her mouth. I digress. I'm being attacked for doing what I thought was right for a child who can't speak for himself right now, and I'm standing by it. Good for you. Exactly. You did what is right for him. Nobody else. How about that? Fuck. I'm sorry. I love you and I'm here. You're not losing me, I promise. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that ship has sailed and that love was lost a long time ago. I agree, Chris. But attunement is attunement. You don't threaten my family and manipulate them and harm them or wish harm on them without having that accountability. That is what I stand on, right? And I do not mean to embarrass, but this is what I feel like I am forced up against a wall to do to get them to back the fuck up for myself, because I deserve to say that. I have a backbone. I'm not a doormat, and these bitches will learn. With all due respect. I can go on with this, but I think I made my point. I do have a screenshot that even though I'm really, really pissed off at the weasels for being assholes, and they are assholes, every single one of them. I have a screenshot here ladies, previous ladies of the Twitter fam Facebook group, of doxing someone and working together to get information to dox someone. You know it. You know that I'm right, and you know it's true. And it was not okay. Because they asked questions, guys. They asked questions, and they were retaliated against. And I'm trying to explain to you all that it went from a group of people in the Facebook Messenger to battle the Twitter weasels and the Twitter assholes and people that had questions to try to help. That was asked from her and others. Then it became no more Twitter. While Facebook drama was going on, people were getting kicked out of True Crime Commentary, TCC group, left and right. I was banned for simply existing. Then getting kicked out of the Michael Vaughan's group, Facebook, official Facebook search group, because it was ran by Miss Brooke and Brandon Curtis, who have fraudulent backgrounds. But no disrespect to them, because they are probably just doing what they thought was right by taking over and booting everybody. You know, when they share something from outside of that group, or from inside of that group, rather, you know, you can't see it, but you know that it's about monkey or something related to monkey. But you know what it says? Unavailable. Can't see it. You can't see or share it. Can't share his face. Can't share anything because you're not part of the group. But I guess that's just the price you pay. So then Facebook disintegrated in its own way very recently. And then YouTube was the big bang that I and other creators like Harsh Reality, TFA, really brought to light, in my opinion. So everywhere we go on social media, it gets squished. Yep, Cute Girl, you were banned. So I have to wrap up. I think I've made my point. I think I've made it very clear. I don't want to have to do it again. And I won't. Because all bets are off, all gloves are off. All is fair in love and war. But this is the recording that shakes me to this day, especially with the recent revelations of Stacey Wandra being out, released early by federal marshals on an order. Sarah Wandra is still in jail for her local charges. Her federal charges were dropped. Nobody has charges against Michael's case. We have no idea what's going on. Prosecution will not tell the community anything, and I understand why. But it was just like, and nothing. Not going to update, nothing. Which makes me feel like there might be grand jury shit going on. But I digress. This recording I'm going to end on is haunting to me. Because it wasn't warranted what was said. There was no question or no conversation that warranted what was said. And I'm going to leave with that. And I offer Purple or Brooks from Crime Lines and Lies to please have your the mother of a missing child to clarify if you think it's best. I do. Let's listen.
Because it's compiled, honey. It's old.
anybody. You didn't call anybody to come take our son. You didn't call anybody. That was just me. Your other call. Oh, you do your pizza online, that's right.
Oh, you're changing your story, Tyler. I don't like it.
That's right. Forgot about that. He didn't call to order pizza. He ordered it online. And yeah, we're very tech savvy.
So, okay. So that it's, well, still it's 6:40, right? So I don't give a fuck how the pizza was ordered. Okay.
Honey, it's old. So you didn't call anybody. You didn't call anybody to come take our son. You didn't call anybody. That was just.
So I think I understand why that would be very upsetting for a taxi business over on Red Wing Street and that recording to mix mosh together in people's minds, which is not my intention, but that's what's going on. That's what people are questioning. And I would really love for that to be cleared up by the mother and or the father, because that is on people's minds, not just mine, a lot of people's. Or what's your theories? What's your response? Because I still have been racking my brain on that one. What prompted that thought process when you were looking through Tyler's call logs to say that? Sincere honesty. It's been on my mind for a long time. And honest to God, this is to Perp and Brooke from Crown Lines. If these little bitty things can be just cleared up, that won't actually hinder the investigation, these little things, I will step away from the case and just share his flyer until Michael's justice is final. I will step away. But until then, since we don't have those clarifications, the show must go on because Michael deserves it. You know, as I say, guys, drink your water, hug yourself, your babies, your fur babies, your grandbabies. Share this live, share his face, and keep him in your mind. And be open-minded. Much love to you. Happy holidays, everyone. Bye.